Okay, so now that we've got our floor plan finished, we're going to go ahead and start an elevation view. And the key thing to notice about that, the profile of the roof is on the right side view. So we're actually going to start on the right side view here. And roof pitches in America, well, the way they work are legs of a triangle. One of the legs is always your run. Your run is always going to be 12-inch. So your rise may vary. Those generally, they can range anywhere from 3.5 to 12, all the way up to 24 to 12. So I'd say the pitch of this roof is maybe a 10, 12. It's got a pretty good steep, but not real great. Good enough to shed water. So keep that in mind. Now, before we begin, the other thing is there's going to be an intersection on the back of the house. You see this storage area. It's got its own little roof too. And it doesn't quite look like a 10-12. It looks more like a 6-12 or something of that nature. Maybe even a 5-12. 5-12 is about as low as practically people go, although you can go down to even 3.5 to 12. Okay, so keep that in mind. We might have to find this intersection. I think on our drawing, well, if you add it up, let's see, 2.6 and 4.6 is going to give you to the 7 feet plus 6 feet is going to give you 13 feet plus the 18 foot 6. So we actually would have 18 foot 6 back here. So keep that in mind. That's going to be the width of that. It might be slightly longer than what it looks here, but well, who knows? 48 feet. Okay. So the other thing is, the roof covers this porch, you see, and you get overhangs. So keep all that in mind. I've got overhangs, and I've got what they call an eave here, where kind of what they call a lookout. Notice the roof sticks out from the wall there. That kind of protects the wall. I've seen it where they don't do that. I would never recommend that personally. But that roof actually covers from the back wall to the front of the porch. So not necessarily the front wall. So that's important too. That means that gable, the gable where the two slopes intersect, is not exactly centered from the front wall to the rear wall. It's actually centered from the front of the porch to the rear wall. So keep that in mind, okay? So we're going to begin laying this out. And first things first, we had 38 feet here, 38 feet. So we're going to find a mark on this blank sheet. I've got a blank sheet. I've already put together my title block and my border. I think you remember how to do that. So we're going to begin laying this out. Next, same scale as what we used before. We're going to use a 1/8 of the inch equals a foot scale. Now look at this. I've got this, came in the mail. I actually bought a house planning template, but a little late for that. I've already done my floor plan basically by hand, so I'm not too much worried about that. So first things first, what I'm going to do is I want to give myself some space on the bottom of the sheet. So, well, how much space do you think I need? Probably only like 1 inch. I'm going to make a mark at the bottom of my border here and just measure up 1 inch on each side. This is going to become the grade, which the grade is the grass. It's the outdoor. So I'm going to make a light mark here. Again, this is going to become my grade line. So very light line. That might be kind of hard to see, but it's there. There's a light line. I just measured up 1 inch. I might even label this. I might even put somewhere over here, I might write the word grade, and that's fine. Okay. That'll be fine by me. Foundations. Foundations must be up out of the earth at least 8 inch, okay? Which generally is a row of block. And if we look at this problem, looks like they got 1 and 2 steps to get onto the porch area there. So one of the ways I like to do it, I like to make sure it's high enough off the ground. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure up, let's see, 8 inch is going to be the top of the foundation. That's going to be my first minimum, right? But you can go taller than that. I could actually go up 6 and 6, which is 12. Okay? And then go up another 6 inches. And what that would be is that's going to be the top of my finished floor. So wait a minute here. 6 and 6 plus to the top of the finished floor is going to be another 6. That's going to make it 18. So I'm going to measure up off of this line here 18. Now keep in mind you can measure 6 inches, half of this foot here. So maybe that's what I'll do is I'll set it to the 6 where I feel like is the 6 and make a mark at the 1. So that's 1.5 feet. 1.5 feet. And same thing over here. I kind of do the same thing here. 1.5 feet. Now, what that line is going to become is the top of the finished floor. Okay, so I'll show you right here. I'm going to draw another light line. And maybe I'll say on this side, over here on this right side here, I'm going to write, I could write floor. That'll be fine. Okay, so that's going to be the top of the finished floor. Now, a little something that we're not going to draw, but cross sections. Let's say these are 8-foot walls. 8-foot walls. What that means, your drywall. The finished top of the drywall, the top of your ceiling is 8 feet, okay? And what happens is this. We're going to say this is built with 2x4 construction, okay? So 2x4 construction, we can just simply measure up off of this 8 feet. But generally the way that works is that you're going to get what they call sole plate. Then you're going to get a wall stud. And on top of the wall studs that kind of box everything together, you're going to get a double top plate. So if you add all that up, technically it's 97 1/8. 97 1/8. So we actually need to go up a little bit higher than 8 feet here. We need to go up a little bit higher than 8 feet here. So 97 1/8. Let me find an 1/8 inch equals a foot scale. And I'm going to set the scale side. This might be a little hard to see, but I'm going to set the scale side to 8. And just go, well, a little bit past the 0 here. Just a little bit. Same thing on this side. So set it to 8. And go a little bit past the 0 here. Okay. So, what that is going to be the top of your ceiling, okay? It's going to be the top of your ceiling. Very important, very important, very important. So, next, we need to start the front wall. We're going to start the front wall somewhere. Easiest way to do that, just pick a random place somewhere over here. And I know we're not using drafting equipment, but I'm just going to take the triangle and make sure it's right with here. And just draw one straight line up. Okay? You don't need to darken that in right now. our walls were 4-inch thick. So I'll get the 1/8 inch equals a foot scale. And I'm going to make a mark at the 4. And make another mark, 4. Reason being is I need to know how thick these walls are. That's a little thicker than a, hold on. Let me try that again. It's a little bit difficult with all the equipment I'm using, but let me make sure I'm on my marks a little bit. Oh, that's a little bit better. Okay. So I'm going to make a mark, a parallel line. 4 inches from there. So right now it kind of looks like that. Now here's the thing. The roof itself, right, is going to connect to your wall. So walls connect to roofs. It's pretty fundamental. From the front of the porch, we're going to say that's the front of the porch, to the back of the storage area, we don't need to worry about. We don't need to worry about that yet. I mean, we could locate that, but really what I'm more concerned with is the back of the wall. So let's see, 22'6" plus 3'6" is going to be 26 feet. So we've got 26 feet, okay, from the front of the wall to here, plus another 6 feet. So that puts me at 32 feet. And think about this, 38 minus the 6 here is going to give you 32. So I'm going to make another mark. Right now, this mark here is this line. We're going to measure back 32 feet and see where that puts me. Oh, okay. Puts me right here. 32 feet. And let me make 2 marks. Let's make another one up here. 32 feet. Hey, you know what? I just thought we may as well find our 38. There's 36, 37, 38. I'm going to make a mark for that too. That's going to become the back wall of that storage area, if you recall. So, but I'm more or less concerned with this first mark. So, let me kind of draw a vertical line off of that. And you could, you know, get that leveled up like this. Watch your line work. That's the most important thing. So let me draw a solid line there too. Okay. Oh, okay. I shouldn't have done that, but okay. Now I need to measure that thickness. Okay. Again, 4 inch. It's going to be here. Shift down. Same thing. 4 inch. It'll be there. Might as well make that parallel line again. Okay, good. Let me make sure this one's a little darker, in fact. Okay, pretty good. Now, let me kind of zoom in there. What's going to happen is we need the roof. Roofs connect to walls. There's something called a roof rafter. That's going to be wood construction as well. Now, generally, those are going to be anything from a 2x6, 2x8, 2x10, 2x12s, okay? We'll say that ours are going to be 2x6, and that's fine. Now, here's the thing. Where the roof meets that wall is going to be on the inside of the wall, not the outside. And what they'll create is what they call a plumb cut. It's going to be a little triangle cut out of the wood. The wood's going to be angled, but they're going to take a little triangle notch out of it, if that makes sense. So what to do is this. From the inside there, I'm going to take my 1/8 inch equals a foot scale and make a mark at 1 foot, okay? We figured this probably on a 10-12 slope. So I'm going to rise up from that 10-inch. This one's kind of hard to see, but we'll say 10 inches right here, okay? So now from that slope inside here is going to be the slope of your roof, okay? That's going to be the slope of your roof. Then I'm going to draw another line. We'll say these are 2x6 construction. So I'm going to make another mark, half foot is 6 inch, which is going to be here. And let me measure down to here. Let's say 6 inch. And keep these lines lighted in the beginning. So there is the thickness of my roof, okay? Now we also need an overhang. Those kind of vary. If we look at the problem there, it looks like overhang's at least a foot. So what to do is measure out a foot from the wall and make 2 marks. And that's going to be what they call a plumb cut. So they're going to cut it off right here. Okay, that's where you're going to put fascia board and where they're going to put flashing, drip edge, and a gutter. Okay, and even starter roll. Same thing on this side. Let's run 12, which is a foot. So I make a mark and then rise up 10. Okay, what that does is it allows me, it's going to be tangent with the inside of that wall, not the outside, but the inside. It's going to tell me where my slope is. Okay, so next I'm going to draw a really light line through that. You see that? Let me kind of zoom in there. Right through the inside. Now, I need to give that thickness of 6 inch. So I'm going to come up here, make a mark at the 6, shift down, make another mark at the 6. Okay, very good. Then I draw another parallel line between them. Let's measure off a foot here and a foot down here. Let's get my triangle and darken in that plumb cut. And actually, at this point, we could darken in the roof. First of all, this is excess here and excess here. So I actually went up too far, but I didn't want to go too short at the time. And these, I can actually erase over here. I went too far down there. Same thing here, kind of went too far. That's fine. Okay there, okay. So now, what's this? I don't know. Gone. We can actually go back and darken in our roof here. Oh, something else I should mention. A lot of times they're going to do what they call a closed cornice. And a closed cornice kind of looks like that. And you're going to erase part of this line. So I'm going to erase this upper part here. Same thing on this side. I could do the same thing over here. So closed cornice here. Closed cornice there. And that's very typical. Okay, so next, I need to darken in the rest of the roof here. So let me get my straight edge here. Careful with your equipment. Okay, here's that gable. So I'm going to make one side of the gable, kind of shift up over here. Make the opposite side. Now I got to shift over to this side. And it's kind of a mirrored image, equal but opposite, equal but opposite. Okay, and so that's the basic setup to be able to set up the side of this house. Now, what I'm going to begin doing, first of all, we've got another roof, a different roof, as I said, for that storage area. And that's why I kept some space over on this side. I need to figure out where that roof, how tall that roof is, and project it, because it's going to intersect this slope. So that's what we're going to do next. Next, what we need to do is this. We need to come out from this back wall 6 feet. And just make a mark at 6 feet. Here's 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Next, wall thickness is 4 inch. And so we're going to make another mark. That doesn't look too great. And let me erase some of these other marks. They're kind of in the way there. So let me do that again. 6 feet is going to be here. Okay. Now we need to go 4 inches from that. And let me do it again. Let me shift down here. 6 feet. And 4 inches. Very good. Now, let me draw some light lines up. It's going to be for that storage area, if you recall. Light line here. And light line here. Well, hold on. I got a little off there. It's kind of hard for me to do all this with this equipment I'm using, but okay, so light line here and light line here. Very good. That's better. That's better. Okay, so that's going to be the distance. Now, we figured out it's going to be 18 foot 6 wide. So, what I want to do is this. I'm gonna find 18 foot 6. We'll say 19. So here's 16, 17, 18, 19, and I'm just going to come about a half inch or so from here. What I need to do is I need to figure out the roof pitch. So let me set a 0 here. I'll set a 0 right here, and just draw a vertical line using my triangle. And get a nice vertical line off of that. I need a little bit of space away from that back wall of the storage area. And from that, then I'm going to measure my 18 foot 6. So here's 6. Make a mark at 18, which is going to be here. This one's kind of tricky, so same thing, 6 and 18. Okay. Let me draw, let me erase the word floor. We're going to want to put that on the opposite side, I suppose. And what to do, let me draw a light line through that. I need that 4 inch thick wall thickness. So 4 and 4. Okay. And draw a light line through that. Okay. Fair enough. Same thing on this side. 4 and 4. Okay, draw a light line through there. Okay. That back storage area looks like it has a different pitch. Okay, we could say it's a, I don't know, 612. So same concept though. On the inside of this wall, I'm gonna run 12. There's my 12. And let me go to the other one. There's 12 there. Okay, and then rise up 6, which is half a foot, which is here. Same thing over here. Rise up 6. Here. Okay. So next, what to do is I'm going to draw a light line intersecting there. And a light line intersecting here. Okay. I've got to offset these lines. Again, 6 inch. Let's say they're 6 inch rafters. That's fine. Then I'll get my straight edge and draw a light line here. Draw a light line here. Okay, good. A reason being, there's a point right here and a height from this point straight down we could measure. But I'm going to simply watch my line work and kind of project over. Watch your line work. Try to maintain parallel with the sheet. And you can always go back and check. But that roof actually touches here, okay? And we could check it with a measurement. So we said our overhang, very important, was a foot. So I'm going to measure off of this back wall of the storage area a foot. And use my triangle and just draw a line straight up. So just draw an edge straight up, erect from there. And then darken in the top of this roof here. Kind of like so. Kind of like so. Now that's going to overhang slightly too, just like the other thing. We'll say this overhangs a foot here. And we could put a foot on the other side. Draw a vertical line that's going to become that plumb cut, if you recall. Oh, the overhang needs to come down a little further on this one. Didn't quite come down far enough. So, and then a foot here. There's my plumb. Okay. Same thing on this side. Ooh, I got real close there. There's my foot there. Let me extend this slope down to here. Okay, good. Because there is my plumb cut here. And if you wanted to, you could go back and draw in them closed cornices. This technique pretty much works the same. Okay. I'm not really too much worried about that. It's going to become the storage. And it would be the back of it, so I might run it right back. Okay, so I might want to write back. More or less concerned with this roof. Where this projects down, kind of got lucky. It looks like it might intersect with the top of the wall, and that's fine. This is going to be your eave. Okay, and then it kind of shifts down. It's a little bit higher. That's what it is. It's a little tiny bit higher right here. Okay. You could actually erase part of this wall because it's going to be hidden. We don't show hidden lines in elevation views. Then I'll simply go back and kind of darken things in. Once I got it set up like that, those are pretty dark. Now, I'm going to draw a nice solid line. The bottom of the wall. You could draw one across here too if you'd like. It's up to you. Not so much worried about the back. But this would be the right side. So I'm going to label this R. You could just abbreviate R side. Now, one last thing to finish this up. There was a window. What did we say? 3-foot windows? 3 foot? That's fine. And it's in that back corner if you look at this pictorial. Windows. The tops of your doors and your tops of your windows line up. In residential architecture, doors are 6'8". 6'8" is 80 inches. So, and it's 80 inches off the floor. This is the top of the floor. So I'm going to measure up 80 inches towards the front here. Let's see, 6'8". We'll say is about like here. That's 4, 5, 6. Okay. And then kind of shift this way. Let's say that's 8 right there. Good. Okay. And make a mark at the 6. Let's see, 4, 5, 6. Reason being, you're going to want to draw a light line between them. And I'm actually going to breach it into the storage area here too. Hold on, my pencil's coming loose. Okay. That is going to be the top of a window. Watch. Keep this line light, and it can cross into the other view as well, because there's doors. If you recall, there's 2 doors on the back there. I'm not really worried about projecting this rear view. It's going to be the side view. The side view. Kind of got crooked, but there was a window there, and let me think. The center of that window was 3'6". 3'6" on a floor plan. So let me measure from the back wall forward 3'6". Let's see, 1, 2, 3. It's going to be here. We'll make a mark at the 6. Okay, let me shift down and do it again. I need a good vertical line here. Okay, because the last thing we're going to do to put together this. Okay, so let me draw a light line there. Now that's going to be the center of the window. We figured out these are 3-foot windows. So I need to go foot, let's see, 1.5 feet, 1.5 feet. We'll go 1.5 feet this way, and then shift over to the 3. And make a mark at the 0, and do that again. I'll go 1.5 feet this way, set it to the 3, make a mark at the 0. What I'm going to do is make me a nice little window in here. Okay, so there's some. Keep these lines light at first till you draw the window in. They do make window templates. I don't think a lot of you watchers might have that, but okay, now the window height, those kind of vary. Probably about the biggest you'll get is a 54-inch, okay? 54-inch, so that's what, 4'6". Let me do that. Let's measure down. 4'6". That's a big window, but that's, I don't know. It'll work. Okay. Between that, let me draw a dark line. This line here next is going to become darker. Okay. And let me shift up to the top of doors and windows, which was that line I had you project 80 inch. Darken in there. And then from there, what to do is just kind of make it look like a window. So maybe this is double hung, maybe it's single hung, we don't know. Just going to start dividing it up into littler, smaller and smaller rectangles to give it that effect like it's some type of window. Okay, so you could even divide that up even more, watch. Okay, and you could even put a little window sill on the bottom here. Very good, and maybe some trim boards around it. Just to give it that look, yeah. So, and something else that generally we need to do, we need to worry about the last thing, that porch area. If you recall, the porch area is 6 foot, and so this is going to become a post. I need to measure back 6 foot, which is here, and then measure up here, make another mark at 6 foot. Between those, draw a light line, but this light line is going to be actually at the top of the ceiling, watch. That one goes up to the top of the ceiling. You could actually offset it back that 4 inch, because trim boards are 4 inch usually. You can mark them at 4 inch, and that's fine. So let me make another parallel line. Okay, good. And then kind of darken this in right here. Steps, they're going to be what, 6 inch and 6 inch? So I could actually simply make 2 marks, one at a foot and one at 6 inch. And I'm just going to kind of watch my line work and estimate these, kind of like so and kind of like so. From there, I'm going to measure out a foot, which is here, and drop down, and then measure out a foot from there, which is here, and drop down, kind of like that. And if I darken it all in, watch what happens. It'll look like steps. Okay, so looking pretty good. Something else that a lot of drafters do, they would use a template, but let's say I want to make this kind of look like some type of siding. You could just kind of shade things in here and just kind of make it look like, you know, sunset or something like that. So you could give it a shading if you wanted to. You know, some type of shading. It's going to be siding, and that would be the right side view. Go ahead, give that a try.